Hi, and thank you for joining me on another Friday upgrade where we make small incremental upgrades to your personal operating system, all based on concepts from my upcoming book, The Tech Executive Operating System. I notice working with clients that too many end up, especially in their first 100 days in a role or 100 days in a new year, end up focusing too much and spending all of the time doing two things. One is juggling, which is what I call for the overwhelm you feel when you keep on getting another issue and another problem. So you feel like you're juggling. You're trying to keep a bunch of plates spinning in the air, and that constant juggling is what you do because you hear about one thing and another, and before you finish handling one thing, you already have another thing on your plate. And you end up basically spending almost all of your time just putting out fires. You don't get time to plan what you actually want to be doing. You cannot be proactive. You're just being reactive and going from subject to subject, putting one fire out after the next. And that might be the way to operate in the first week or two when you're completely overwhelmed, but that's not really how you should be leading. I'm guessing you can see that. In the book, I list out a specific process for gaining control of your organization and coming up with a direction and a plan. It starts with the juggling, because that's always going to be part of your work. I'm sorry, there's no way around that. You're always going to do some juggling, and there are always going to be some fires to put out. But with the right process, you can then make sure that you don't just do that, but you create your own path forward by building rapport with your colleagues, with your employees, with everyone around you, and by collecting the different types of issues that you see around you and forming a plan. You can do what I call clear the fog of war. If you've ever played one of those computer games where you have this map that eventually you defog it by going around and seeing what's around you. When you just start, you don't really know what you don't know. You have to actually do some exploration in order to see what's ahead. And by clearing the fog and having a very solid triage process to make sure that you don't miss anything, that you don't handle the same issue twice, that you know who is in charge of something. Just because someone comes up to you with a problem doesn't mean that you're the one who needs to solve it. With a very good triage process, and by actively working to clear the fog, you can then form a plan. And that plan will help you not just to put out the fires faster, but you will also be able to forge a path to maximizing your team's impact. You will then see how you can, for example, decide which change initiatives you want to put forth, be it a reorg, be it a major refactoring, be it changing the processes for coming up with your roadmap and iterations and sprints. And you can also very quickly see how you gain control of your day-to-day, because only by doing that can you make the time to do stuff like gain product mastery, which I talked about in the previous episode. And by doing that, you can also make the time to actually be with your team, not just being reactive, but being proactive, seeing what's coming ahead and actually doing the right thing prior. Rather than putting out the fire, how about, not having a fire in the first place? That all comes by creating a process for yourself, for your management team around you, and for the leadership of your organization. And you can get that in as short as 100 days. So think back on your last 100 days. Have they been as effective as you would have liked them to be? If not, I really suggest you take a look at this path that I forged for you and see how you can take control of your own direction forward. That's it this time. If you want to get more of these, be sure to subscribe to the newsletter below. It's the best newsletter online for tech executives. It's not just me saying. Thank you, and see you again next week.